All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Autonomy podcast. And today with me, I have Taihmina. How are you, Taihmina? It's really great to have you today.
I'm great. I'm fantastic.
That's awesome. How you doing?
I think I'm doing good. I am happy so far. So it's been a good day. The weather's great in Dubai. So yeah, it's been good.
That's absolutely fantastic. Love having you on the episode today. Thank you for making the time on a Friday evening. Other than spending time with your family, you're here with me on a podcast call. So I really appreciate that, by the way.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor, honestly.
Pleasure having you, because you're smashing it so far. You've been with us for now almost 3 months, not full 3 months, almost 3 months.
Yes, just 1 week short.
Exactly.
Yes.
But you're smashing it now. 6 kilos lost. You started with 80 kilos and now you're at 74. Really proud of you of that achievement. How are you feeling about that?
I feel like it's the first milestone that I have conquered. It feels amazing because 3 months ago, from where I'm coming, it felt like, oh my God, even 5 kilos down felt like, I don't know how I'm going to do it because I was just so fed up with where I was. So I'm very happy being here now. It gives me a lot of hope and positivity that I will get to my end goal. It might take a year, but it's like the first quarter of the year has gone so fantastic. I'm very positive about what's going to come ahead.
Baby steps always, right, to our goals. That's awesome. When was the last time you were at 74? Now you're sitting at 74. You started at 80. So when was the last time you were at 74?
I think almost an year ago. My journey has been such a yo-yo. So seeing the number drop on the scale hasn't been a big deal for me. I think what I'm actually scared about is what's going to come later on in the journey, which is getting to your end goal and then being able to sustain it and maintain it, not having to worry about eating a little bit extra, doing anything extra, because I think that's my biggest fear that I'm constantly battling because I've seen my weight go up and down so many times that I want to be done with it. I want to do it the slow and sustainable way. I'm done with, lose 30 kilos in 6 months, lose 30 kilos in 3 months. I'm done with it. I've tried all of that. It doesn't work.
And how long have you struggled with the yo-yo dieting?
I struggled with it for 10 years. I had my youngest kid 10 years ago. I was the heaviest 84 when I gave birth to him. And then after that, the least that number that I reached, it was 63. And I was struggling from 63 to get to 58, which was my pre-pregnancy weight. It's always been I hit a 63, 64, and then I go to a 60, 70, 80. But the last year was pretty bad for me. And I went back to 80. When I tipped at 80, I'm not even pregnant. I'm not even carrying a baby. So where is the weight coming from? It was very frustrating.
So it was an eye-opener.
And I think that's what really pushed me off the edge, that was my breaking point. That was my turning point.
Yeah. And you felt like that was an eye-opener for you at that moment?
Yes. I will tell you my eye-opening moment, Judy. It was what happened as we'd gone on a holiday and the place had an tower at the back, an old medieval kind of thing tower, and we were sightseeing. So there was a bench in front. I sat down. I asked my husband to take a photo and, just you take photos when you're on a tour or something. He took a photo when we went back to the hotel and I saw my picture. I did not recognize the woman in the picture because she looked wide. She looked very puffy faced. And I was like, I'm not like this. Just for reference, before I got married, I was the perfect, you can say 24, 36. I was a very petite and a very slim personality. And for me, over the years, I've come to accept that, yes, I was 50 kilos when I got married. And after I had my children, I knew that going back to 50 would be a bit too drastic because, your face changes, your physique changes. It's never going to look the same. I'd accepted that fact. So I'd made compromise. If I come to 57, 58 and I'm pretty toned and I'm healthy, then I'm just going to be very grateful for my health and all of that. I'll be a happy person, basically. So that 58, 57 number was stuck in my head. That's just something I wanted to get. I've never been able to get back to that 57, 58 since I had my kid 10 years back. When I saw the photo and I just went to the bathroom because we were on a holiday. I didn't want anyone having my mental breakdown. I just cried and cried because I asked my husband, why didn't you take the photo from the correct angle? I look so wide. I don't look nice. And he, being the gentleman he is, he just told me very softly, Taihmina, your photo is very accurate. I know he was being kind and trying not to tell me I look fat. He understood. But I just went to the bathroom. I cried and I cried and I was like, why is it so hard to lose weight? Why is it like I put in so much of effort and I'm so disciplined and, like I believe that about myself. Like I manage everyone at home. I'm a homemaker, So why is it that I cannot manage my weight? It just felt so frustrating. It was a terrible place to be in. But I was like, I'm going to come back. I'm going to do my research. I'm going to take it slow, but I want someone to help me finally like get across the bridge. I'm done with all the fat diet. For reference, I've done keto, I've done low carb, I've done the carb cycling, I've done like the juice, I've done the vegetarian diet, I've done the paleo. You name it, I've tried it.
Wow.
Yes.
You've been around the block.
I stuck to keto for 4 months. I was so proud of myself. So I know I have the willpower and dedication. Okay, I'm not lacking in that department. But I just couldn't figure out what is it that's not sticking. Like, why am I not able to sustain? Yeah, that was my very frustrating point with my weight loss.
And having tried all of these, like, different diet plans, I would say, like, what did you find different about Autonomy that you felt like, this is different than what I have tried before?
Oh my God. So first of all, like Nathan says, his words, white guy speaking about Indian food, I'm hooked. I was like... So I'm Indian, and whenever I went to an Indian dietitian, it was always about the North Indian food or the very South Indian food, or it's like completely vegetarian. And I'm not like that. I'm from the middle of India and we eat a lot of like meat, fish, chicken. We've got all of that happening. And so I'm not like, I enjoy the different foods, but I'm not like completely about the vegetarian food. And the moment I go to Indian dietitians and they were like the dals and the paneers and that's it. And I was like, I can't do that. Or otherwise then you have the Western dietitians, the white people who are more like about the broccoli and the chicken and white pepper. And I'm like, nope, I need my garam masalas, I need my haldi, I need all my turmerics and all of those spices in my food. So I was hooked when I was just scrolling Instagram and I saw this white guy speaking so passionately about our Indian food, and he's like, you know what, you can eat that and lose weight. I was like, how? Show me. So I was absolutely, mesmerized when Nathan was saying like, you can eat your puris and your dosas for breakfast. And for me, I normally cook at home, but I have a very sweet thing that my husband does for me is like, he takes me out for breakfast whenever he has the time. And at that time, usually we're having the South Indian breakfast. And those are the dosas and the idlis and the sambars and all of that. And up till now, all dietitians are like, that's too oily, that's too carb dense, and you gotta have protein. I'm like, our culture is really ancient, really old. We can't be that wrong about our food. Like, we're used to eating this food. True. Like, why is it that no one is telling me that this is okay to eat when in my gut it felt like it's our culture, right? It feels right to eat. Like, if you tell me to eat a bit less, use a little bit less of oil and all of that good things, I understand. But if you're going to tell me, no, you gotta have only protein for breakfast, that didn't make sense to me. Went a little bit, did a little bit more research. I was very intrigued. I was like, wow, you're telling me I can eat my dosas and idlis and I can lose weight? All right, I'm signed. Sign me. I was a little bit skeptical, I'll be very honest. But I was like, you know what? Let's try. I've tried everything on earth and it's not sustainable. And this looks like sustainable because here's a white guy speaking very passionately about my culture and my food. And he's guaranteeing me that it can be done. It's a weight loss. I needed to hear that. I needed someone to tell me my foods are great. We'll show you how to manage your weight loss with it. So I was like, let's give this a try.
After now, like, almost 3 months, 1 week to 3 months, how do you feel? Like, this is working for you?
Absolutely. Like, if you would have asked me last year, 5 kgs in 3 months, I was like, nah, it's too slow. I don't like the pace.
It's too much.
But I know better now because it's slow. That's where the magic is. Everything is happening very sustainably. I'm not hungry all the time. I get to eat foods I love. I have a wonderful coach who's like there and who's my fantastic support system, who's like, anytime I eat eat outside, he might be like, okay, Taihmina, just reduce one puri. Maybe don't have the whole uttapam, like have half. And I'm happy. He's not telling me don't eat.
Yeah.
Finish. Yeah. I'm done. I'm like over the moon because I have longed for someone to say like, Taihmina, it's okay to eat this. You can do your diet. And the best part is I'm here 3 months standing and I'm seeing my weight go like slowly. And I'm still having my lovely breakfast outside. I just have learned how to manage the rest of the day. I get to eat my home cooked meals after that. And even if I were to go out, like I have a fantastic system and I have a fantastic like explanation of what I need to do. So the power has been given back in my hands. And I love that. I feel like autonomy has empowered me, given me the confidence back in myself, my food, my culture, and in my weight loss journey. I'm very excited. Maybe you should catch me at 6 months and see how I am.
Yeah, we'll get you down on the second episode. It'll be like episode
Yay.
1, Taihmina
Fingers
part
crossed
1.
for that.
That's awesome. A'Boud is a phenomenal coach, but of course, like what?
Oh, I have only praises to say to A'Boud. I think sometimes he gets embarrassed. I'm like, A'Boud, you're such a sweetheart.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart.
He's been a fantastic coach. Like, I'd like to say this especially for A'Boud, that he has been such a great coach in terms of more than a coach. He's been like, that one friend you can go to and tell them that, hey, like my day sucks. And they're like, it's all right. It wasn't that bad. He's like that coach. Like I can go up to him and I'll tell him like, A'Boud, I have my periods, or I'm very hungry. I'm craving this, or today I had this breakfast. And he will always come back with a very reassuring response. He'll always have a solution-based approach. He's never once ever reprimanded me or told me even something a little bit where I felt like the coaches are always going to be nice in a professional setting, but sometimes their tone of voice or choice of words might tell you like they are not that happy with what you did.
Yeah.
Never with A'Boud did I ever feel like he's not happy or he got offended that I ate something, a little bit extra. He's always telling me, it's one day. It's not going to ruin everything. It's just 1 week. It's fine. So I can go to him and tell him like, I was not good with this or I was not good with that. And he's like, it's all right. It's always another day. And for me, that has been the best part about autonomy, that I have such a wonderful coach who's got my back. And if I'm not good with my updates, and there are days where I'm too tired or too occupied, and if I just send him like, hey, A'Boud, give me some time, he's like, don't worry. Or if I've been silent for 2-3 days, he'll check up on me, Taihmina, hey, are you okay? Is everything okay? He won't tell me, give me updates. He's like, are you okay? And that touches my heart so much because it shows he cares about my well-being, not just like a number on the scale. He cares that I'm okay. He cares that my mental health, my physical health, everything is okay. And I appreciate that so much, honestly speaking. That's
really
been fantastic.
Really great to hear. Thank you very much for sharing. A'Boud will be very happy to hear that as well. Like,
yes, definitely. He deserves it. He's been a champ, honestly.
Awesome. That's awesome. And did you feel like, this kind of guidance helped you stay on track?
Yes. That is, I think that your method of being able to, I know typically counting calories, some people it might trigger certain emotions. Like for me, getting on the weighing scale triggers me a lot. But I've learned to associate completely. Like I disassociate any kind of emotions as far as possible, except for my period weeks. That time I'm crazy. Then I'm like, A'Boud, my weight has gone so high. And he'll come back and it's okay, Taihmina. These days don't bother. He's very kind and understanding. It's not like we don't know, but there are times when your complex and your past weight loss, let's just call them traumas, they come back and they are like, okay, like there's a little voice in the head that tells you like, you won't be able to do it. It's going up again. You're doing something wrong. You at that time want voice from outside of you to tell you you're doing fine. And I think that for me is where the magic happens. Like when I'm really down and I'm struggling and then someone comes and tells me, it's okay, we've got it under control. The meal plan, my meals, like a blueprint to work with. Like now I understand like how much calories in there, in what type of foods. And the best part that I've learned with autonomy is nothing is off limits. You should just know your portion sizes. You should understand what works for you. You should know how to just like balance your day around your meals. Like if one has been a little bit more, fine, no problems. You get on with the next one. It's more about consistency. It's not about micromanaging. It's more about macro managing. Yeah, and I love that. That has helped me immensely. That I can eat my foods. I know what's going on my plate and I have a good idea. If I don't have any idea, I immediately take a photo. I will ask Abud like, hey, what do you think I should consider this? How many calories in this, you know? So now it has, with certain foods, it's just become, you know, like a routine. You know, in the beginning, it feels a bit overwhelming. Correct. In the beginning, it feels a bit overwhelming, but then you just kind of get used to it. You can just like kind of eyeball a lot of the meals and you have a better understanding of what you're eating. And I think that'll serve me for life. Absolutely. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. That's really great to hear. What do you feel also like you learned with Autonomy, like so far throughout this journey that you did not know about before joining?
Autonomy taught me patience. It's a journey where you have to practice patience. Autonomy taught me that it's basic. It's not that complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's just about doing the right things. And I think my biggest learn was weaning my feelings away from the scale. Like there's one thing very nice Abud told me today, and he's like, look in the mirror. Look at your photos at the beginning of the journey and right now. I see so much of change, you know, like, and I was like, I don't see it. And then he showed me the photos and showing my photo from the first week until now. It's like, I'd be blind to say I don't see it. So there is a change. Definitely there's a change. It's just that we are very critical. So you need those extra pair of like eyes and kind heart to tell you, you're doing fine and I see a difference. So for me, that's been great. So the biggest thing I've learned with Autonomy is like you need to dial in your basics. You need to just go back to simplifying everything. It just reiterates again and again. Good health is a lifelong journey. We need to cultivate good habits. And my biggest surprise that came was there was a week I couldn't do my exercises and Abu just said, it doesn't matter. Just get in your steps. I'm like, what do you mean? Makes no sense. And then he's like, your steps are king. As long as you're doing your steps every day and you're moving your body and doing the food right, you will see a lot of difference. Exercise is important, of course, because that recomposes the body, you get definition and all of those wonderful things. But for now, just focus on your steps. That you can do it later on. But now if you really want to like reduce the bulk of your weight, just focus on the steps. I'm like, wow. So if there's a day where I'm feeling sick or I'm not able to put in my exercise, that guilt is like gone. I don't feel bad about it. I just like make sure I put in a few extra 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 steps. And I'm sorted for the day.
That's really great to hear. That's awesome. Let me ask you this, Taihmina, with Ramadan being on the doors in a month's time, how do you feel like, approaching Ramadan with this journey as well?
I'll be honest, I'm very apprehensive. In fact, I brought this topic up with Abud and he's like, I'm very nervous with Ramadan. I don't know how I'll do because in the past I've tried dieting with Ramadan. It never works. It's just that fasting is just stress on the body, to be very honest. And it's great mentally, it's great spiritually and all of that, but when you fasted the whole day and by the end of the day you're feeling very tired, the last thing you want is like, I can't eat my favorite food or I can't have my samosa. Like, I'll die if you tell me I can't have my samosa. What do you mean? Ramadan samosa? No, not happening.
There's a correlation.
But I had a wonderful response and Abu is like, Taihmina, let's get there. We'll figure it out. We will try certain things with you. We will try the one plate rule or we will try, we'll see how the first week goes. Don't stress about it. Yeah. I was like, wow, he's so chill. He's not worried about Ramadan, so I'm not worried. And the one good thing about Ramadan is you're fasting the whole day. So anyway, you have a very short window of eating. Yeah. So he's like, you club it, you have a bigger meal, you're a happy lady. Finish.
Exactly.
So I'm very positive. I think this is the first Ramadan where I feel like, yes, I can still be on my weight loss journey, continue it without being too nervous about it. So I'm positive.
And it's actually a great opportunity as well to accelerate things. I can tell you this from experience, like I get to the best shape of my life during Ramadan. So believe it or not, it's totally workable.
That is so reassuring. Thank you, Jude. I think I needed to hear that.
Absolutely. So there's always a way to figure it out. Like, this is how we make it workable around your lifestyle, around what's going on with you.
100%. If there is one motto that I've lived my life by, it's like, where there's a will, there's always a way. In fact, I tell my kids, once I die, put on my gravestone that she had a will, she had her way. Because life is never about giving up. As long as you are alive, God has given you the chance to keep trying and trying. You've not failed till you believe you've failed, till you've given up. So for me, and I've had those periods in my weight loss, like I think the other wonderful lesson that I had is like the curve for weight loss is not a beautiful slope. It's a lot of jagged peaked edges, up and down, up and down, up and down. So whenever I have like the chart going slightly up, and I'm like, these like, relax, it'll go down. It's fine. I've learned to come around that now. I think I'm a bit better now.
That's awesome. That's really great to hear, Taihmina. Let me ask you this. You mentioned at the beginning of the call, like struggling with yo-yo dieting. What do you feel helped you remain consistent throughout those past 3 months now?
The same reason I joined. The reason why I joined is the Autonomy talks about my foods and how to incorporate that in my life. And I loved that I could eat what I really enjoy. So I enjoy my time with my husband when we go out for breakfast. In fact, that's one of the only times where we have time to eat what I like and have are like an us time. Otherwise, our days are very hectic. I'm busy with my work. He travels a lot, so I don't get a lot of time with him, So I associate that food with a very beautiful memory. It's a very important and a beautiful part of my life. And to not feel nervous and apprehensive about going for our breakfast or going out. Like earlier, I would say before I joined Autonomy, I used to like break into a sweat. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to go. Obviously, I don't want to say no to going out with him. But when I go there, I'm like, what do I eat? I have to eat the idli, the steamed, like the steamed dumplings. This is my least favorite on the menu. Let me say that. So for me to actually be able to enjoy my foods, that made a huge difference. That showed me I can have my foods and make it a lifestyle. The second thing that helped me a lot was understanding the concept of steps and movement, daily movement. That was like mind blowing, that exercise is not where it's at. Your daily movement is where the magic happens in your body. That was another lesson that I was totally unaware of, and I'm very glad I learned it. And the third thing I would say that I think it has made it sustainable is just the approach my coach has towards me, the academy has. Like, no one is talking about a fast weight loss. Nobody is giving me a number. Nobody is giving me a target. You are working with individual mindset and body. You are working with the client as per their struggles and problems, I see you guys celebrate someone losing 10 kgs as much as someone lose 5 kgs or 3 kgs, and for me that's like fantastic. When I was asked to come, I was like, my message was like, I'm just 5 kilos down, 3 months. It didn't feel like it is something worthy to talk about, honestly, in my head. But the fact that you care and appreciate, my weight loss journey tells me a lot about your attitude and mindset. And I have a lot of appreciation for that. That has made a lot of difference, definitely. If I had a coach who was grumpy or who was even in the slightly passive aggressive, I think I would have run. But no, I'm going to stay here till I get to where I want.
That's awesome.
I'm not going anywhere.
Really, really great to hear, Taihmina. And absolutely, celebrate those wins, no matter how small they are, how big they are. Always celebrate those wins. It's a journey, so you always want to have that positive mindset and attitude. And I love that you have that built into you. So that's great to have, because no matter how hard the journey is going to be, you're always going to be on top. That's
and
awesome.
I have great support, so I'm not complaining.
That's really great to hear. So to follow up on this, what 3 advices or 3 tips that you would give to somebody who is joining right now, who's new on this journey?
Someone who's new on the journey, I would just tell them, please come with a very open mind, first of all. Like I say, as long as you're alive, do not give up trying on yourself. And if you have come to Autonomy and if you are starting your weight loss journey, I would say, I know it's very cliche, but trust the process, because it is a process, and the process is difficult because it's a lifestyle change, and there's a lot of learning and or unlearning to do at the same time. So if anyone is starting on this journey, I would just tell them that do not look at how long it's going to take. Like, don't look at like, oh my god, I'll be at it for 6 months and 9 months. No, just work on what is it that I can do today to build a good habit for myself. Just build on good small habits. Just trust the process and know that is going to take time. And please disassociate from the number on the scale, because all of that lovely things and the magic that has to happen, give yourself time to look at it. Like, if you're going to look at it on the daily, you will be disappointed because there'll be ups and downs. But if you give yourself, like for me, I personally, I'm like, okay, I'm not even going to look at the photos. I'm not going to think. I'm just going to build on my good habits. So I will look at myself 3 months on. And even now, like once I'm done with this, 3 months, I'm just going to stay consistent and deal with my hiccups and issues that come along the way. Try to sort that. Try to unlearn anything that's not serving me and relearn what needs to be done for myself. And the most important part is find it to make it a very comfortable part of your life. Like I said, like my food, my puri bhaji is like, I love it. Okay. And I never wanted to give up on that. But yes, I have to understand that I can't have it like too much or too frequently. It's fine. Few times in a week. It's fine to have it like in moderation. I don't have to eat the whole basket of puris. I can have like 2, 3 and call it a day. So yes, I would say just start slow, trust the process, learn good things, and just give yourself patience and grace, because we all deserve it. Our bodies deserve it. They're doing so much for us. This is the least we can do for them.
Absolutely fantastic. I love those tips. I mean, they are really, really great. We love having you, and we're really proud of your achievements so far. I'm looking forward to the second episode once you get to your target goal, and then we'll have another episode. It was like, hey guys, this is Taihmina from episode 1, and now we got Taihmina from episode 2.
I'd absolutely love to. and I think I'll have more stories to share.
Awesome. So we're
funny ones, hopefully.
We're going to wrap this up with to be continued, I guess, until we get to the target. But, so far, we're doing really great.
All right. Fantastic. Awesome. It was lovely talking to you, Jude.
Absolutely. Likewise. Thank you for being on the podcast, and really wish you all the best with this journey.
Thank you so much. I really need it. I'll see you after the 6 months point.
That sounds like a plan.
Yes.